Today, we're talking about something you almost certainly have in your kitchen right now. And it's wild, surprising journey from a simple breakfast bowl to a potential new player in cancer care.
Yep, we're talking about one of the most common breakfast foods on the entire planet. Something we all kind of see as simple, wholesome, maybe even a little bit boring. But what if I told you there's this incredible scientific story that's been bubbling under the surface for the last 20 years? A story that's now getting some serious attention from cancer researchers. Okay, so let's start with what we all think we know. I mean, everyone knows oats are good for you, right? But it turns out their benefits go way, way beyond just being a healthy breakfast. I mean, the FDA is on board. They're known to help lower cholesterol. Study after study shows they can help with blood sugar, insulin sensitivity. They even feed the good bacteria in your gut. This is all solid, established science. But this is just the opening act for the real story we're getting into. All right, so now it's time to meet the hero of our story. It's a protein, and it's called Anti-Secretory Factor. We'll just call it ASF. So what is ASF? Well, it's a protein our bodies actually make all by themselves. Its main gig? To be this kind of master regulator for fluid and inflammation. You can almost think of it as the body's own natural firefighter, calming things down when they get too hot. And here's the kicker. We can actually get our bodies to make more of it. And the way it works is honestly surprisingly simple. When you eat certain foods that have been processed in a very specific way, we're talking mainly oats and eggs here, it's like flipping a switch. It tells your body, hey, make more ASF. And the result is this body-wide reduction in inflammation and extra fluid. And this simple but really powerful pathway is exactly what researchers are tapping into. Okay, so you're probably asking, what does any of this have to do with cancer care? Well, it's a huge deal because this whole ASF thing seems to take aim at two of the biggest, toughest problems in cancer treatment today. First up, you have the absolutely brutal side effects that can come with treatment. Things like severe diarrhea or this really painful inflammation in the gut called mucositis. They can get so bad that they actually limit the amount of treatment a person can handle. And then there's this other kind of mind-blowing physical barrier. A lot of solid tumors have this incredibly high pressure inside them, so high that it literally shoves the medicine away before it can do its job. And this really shows you what I'm talking about. In normal, healthy tissue, the pressure is low, so drugs can get in and do their thing, no problem. But inside a solid tumor, that high fluid pressure acts like a force field, a physical shield that keeps the medicine from getting to the cancer cells. It just makes the treatment less effective. This is where things get really interesting. It all leads to this pilot study out of Sweden that just lit a fire under this whole field of research. They decided to test this idea, these special ASF-activating foods, in patients with glioblastoma. And if you don't know, glioblastoma is one of the absolute toughest brain cancers to treat. So this was the big question, right? Could something as simple as a food, especially prepared food, actually help overcome these massive challenges and make a real difference for these patients? The results were, honestly, they were stunning. Just look at this. The group that got the standard treatment had a 2-year survival rate of 20%. But the group that also got the ASF activating foods, their survival rate jumped to 50%. I mean, a leap that big, that makes everyone sit up and pay attention. And here's another way to look at it. The median overall survival, that went up by more than 8 months for the group eating these foods. For a cancer like glioblastoma, that is a huge, huge signal. Beyond all the charts and numbers, there are real people. And the researchers even pointed out in their paper that one of the patients in the study had this incredible response and was actually still in remission with no signs of the disease when they published the results. So as you can imagine, those results were basically a launchpad. The research is just exploding now, expanding way beyond brain cancer into other really tough areas. So, following up on that 2023 pilot study, there's now a much bigger trial, we're talking 300 patients, for glioblastoma to see if they can replicate these amazing findings. And the momentum is just building. Now there are trials for early-stage breast cancer and colorectal cancer too, specifically looking at whether this can help with those awful treatment side effects. Okay, so let's zoom out. What does this all mean for patients? Why is this such a big deal? Well, the potential here is really two-sided. It's about improving quality of life, and it's about potentially making the treatment itself work better. So you've got these two major lanes of potential benefits. On one side, you have quality of life. We're talking about reducing that awful treatment-induced diarrhea and mucositis, maybe even needing fewer steroids. That's huge. And then, on the other side, you've got direct support for the cancer treatment. The idea that this could lower that tumor pressure, help the drugs be more effective, and maybe, just maybe, as that first study hinted, actually improve how well patients do in the long run. You know, this whole line of research really makes you step back and ask a bigger question. It kind of challenges how we think about food, right? It's not just fuel. This positions it as something that can actively change how our body responds, a biological response modifier, as scientists call it. It makes you wonder, what's the next chapter going to be in this story of food as medicine? What else is hiding in plain sight in our kitchens? And of course, we have to end with this, and it's incredibly important. What we've talked about today is for educational purposes only. The science is super exciting, absolutely, but this is not medical advice. You should always, always talk to your oncology team before you add anything new or make any changes to your care plan. Thanks so much for joining us.